Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we are live. Better late than never, some would say. I know we're way past the second innings, 33 for none, as Mumbai are chasing a modest 125 for nine from Bangalore. And look, we apologize for joining this watch along slightly late. We have a special video coming up sometime in the evening where it was just an absolute off the cuff office chat about IPL potential 11s. That'll be hitting our screens very shortly. We appreciate all the comments as well, and we also appreciate two men who've been waiting their time in the wings, should I say? One of them is Akshay, who is right now miking up, and the other two, I think, already mic'd up and waiting in their respective households. I'm talking about Crazy Nicks and Gulkirat, who will feature in just a bit whenever Shaunak gets his act together. But let me just get Akshay's thoughts so far. I mean, it just sums up Bangalore season today. 125 for 9, and nothing really working with the ball. Why do we even have a franchise? Honestly.
Don't even start me on that, man. Like a wicket off a no ball, drop catches, and we're still just 4 overs into the innings, oh man.
It's quite shocking. But look, I mean, we'll pick the positives out of Bangalore's season. We'll, of course, talk to Gurkirat and Nix in terms of what they've liked about Mumbai's performance so far. Because, look, so much talk about Seka Ishaq not getting wickets in the last 3 games, I think. Amelia Kerr maybe peaking at the right time. We spoke about all of that in the last watch along. So keep your comments coming through. We'll take it one by one with Subodh and, of course, Chuchant there as well. And let's, of course, get Nix and Gurkirat on. I mean, I can't reach out to my laptop right now, but Shaunak, if you're watching, please do the needful and get those beautiful gents on. 34 for 0, by the way, Mumbai, and Elise Perry is into the attack. And Yastika Bhatia, remember, she got some runs against Bangalore. It'll be important that Mumbai gets some runs in. There we go. Finally getting them on board. Gurkirat and Nick. Gurkirat, I'll come to you first. We missed you in the office a while ago. We were also dishing out a potential 11s, and it got really pandemonic, if that's a word, in terms of the Delhi Capitals and how it was spiraling out of control between Shubh and Somesh. They were like, let's play Rahman Powell. And they were like, no, let's not play Rahman Powell. I mean, you should have been there. That's all I'm going to say.
Nah. I don't want my blood pressure to go through the roof just before the start of the tournament. Let's save it for the day when in one of the odd games Manish Pandey comes to bat at number 3 and has to face spin. I'll save it for that day because it is inevitable and it is going to happen. And there is no perfect 11 when it comes to Delhi in the men's T20 league. Regardless of whatever plug they'll try to fill, they'll end up making another one. And it's bound to happen when you're going to have 9 players in a squad of 25 who are suitable to bat in top 3. You can't do anything about it.
Ooh, yeah, absolutely. Let's, of course, talk about Delhi in terms of all the IPL chat later. But right now, 38 for none, 4.3. Nix, I mean, how's it going with you so far? And this game, I mean, I was just telling Akshay, it sums up Bangalore season. It really does, right?
Story of every season. And again, just too many mistakes, just too many same kind of errors. And they look okay, and suddenly they're just out of the game.
Yeah.
So hopefully a lot bit of, I won't say soul searching. They have the soul, but they have kept it somewhere. So either it's a horcrux or whatever that is, they have to just sort that out because there are elements. It's just the usage and the divine over. I mean, you could not summarize the entire season better in that very one over itself.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know which one you're talking about, the one with the ball or when she got run out by Bandana, because both kind of sum it up pretty well. I mean, shocking. What's the most glaring error, Nick? Now that you've pointed out, I mean, Bangalore today at least, was it just the batting shambles coming to the fore again?
I think there has been the pattern to the way they bat. They've always lost a wicket early, and Perry has always started slow. Mandan has always looked to call it timid. If it is, it has been timid. You even saw the top edge that she got. She was so hesitant and not herself, which can happen with any player when they are out of touch. But you need that impetus. You need somebody to take the game out, put pressure on them. I don't think Mumbai were ever challenged in any sense to feel that okay, what do we do? Who do we get on to? I mean, they're almost going to go to the final without even having most of their bowlers bowl all four. I
Yeah.
mean, Pooja Vasakar has had the game that she can just chill and do a couple of fielding drills and all of that. Yes, last game she got to bat. So you haven't tested the waters in any which way for Mumbai. So hopefully they can just rejig. And they could not find a place for Dan.
Yeah.
Good luck.
I mean,
Good
it's
luck for Dan.
crazy, right, Gurkinath? Is it the nature of the tournament because it's so short? It's almost games are coming thick and fast. And sometimes teams are like, wait a minute, we've not even kind of given opportunities to certain players. Certain players have not had a bat or a ball. And now they find themselves in the final. So, how does it all work out from a Mumbai perspective?
Before I moved to Mumbai, I remember I was doing the watch along with you guys when Delhi were playing Bangalore. It's the game where Perry and Richa Ghosh had resurrected the innings where Bangalore were 68. Yeah, 68 for 3 after 14 overs, and then there was this partnership where they had managed to reach 150, and we were discussing at length about the changes that Bangalore were making and how Smriti was batting. And I had mentioned that it was going to in a similar manner as to how Punjab's tournament was going in the 2020 men's tournament, wherein uh, you know KL Rahul had started to bat within himself. There were changes every game, and for the longest time they couldn't find a place for Chris Gale. Probably if that was an 18 tournament, they wouldn't have been able to find a place for 8 game tournament. They wouldn't have been able to find a place for Chris Gale, and Chris Gale actually found found his spot in that 11 in the 8th game itself.
Yeah.
So uh, pretty similarities between that campaign of Punjab and now this one of Bangalore. Yeah, Mumbai, I think are winning without a sweat today, and they'd have their eyes on the next game, which is between Delhi and UP. And yeah, I mean, if Delhi win, then it's probably going to come down to net run rate. But at the same time, UP would want to win and take some confidence into that qualifier.
Yeah, no wonder they're going berserk right now. It's already 50 for none in 5.2, so they're obviously targeting that net run rate. Akshay, I'll come to you and we'll take Subodh Charan's question right now. In terms of Bangalore in the larger scheme of things, I know they kind of look beyond Kohli and they might look beyond Mandana right now. Will they go that halfway and actually get not just Elise Perry, but a Faf equivalent in the women's game in terms of Jane Van Niekerk?
I mean, we also have to understand that when it comes to the men's side of things, Kohli was given 7 to 8 years.
Yeah.
So a year is just a season that is just too short, too small a sample size rather, to sort of see how she's done or how
But how
she.
much would you rate her as a captain right now? Does she seem like a rabbit in front of the headlights types?
I actually have to agree with that, because I mean, results, you can't really control the results. I found the way Sneerana handled, the results, the team, and the morale much better than the way Smriti is handled. She, like, when it comes to such situations,
Yeah.
I haven't really seen her, go around, go to the bowler, place a hand around
Yeah.
any of their shoulders and say, boss, it's fine, things like this happen. She already seems that she's done okay, this game is lost. She
True.
already has sort of admitted defeat. It seems that way at least. So yeah,
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't give you real conviction as a fan seeing Mandana captain. I know it's early days, Knicks, and it's really weird for me to say this, but hopefully it comes to fruition at some sort. Has she been overwhelmed by the captaincy? I know she looks around that dressing room. You look at Elise Perry, you look at Heather Knight, and they've all been international captains in the past. So is she kind of timid around them to make her particular gut feels and calls?
See, I think it's also a case of when you are a batting captain, you're not experienced enough in terms of captaincy. Sometimes your returns with the bat show in how you captain, and it's the
Yeah.
vice versa. So it's also the lack of runs that she's got, and it's the lack of conviction in her plans as well. So we discussed the one game where she was hitting everything along the carpet. Then suddenly Shika Pandey came and she wanted to take the risk and she got out. So when you are in that kind of zone, you're probably a bit more conservative and you want like, okay, let me not just try this. Let me just that's a good wicket. Yes, it
Oh,
is.
finally. For a second, I thought it was going to
Good
pounce
catch.
out. It was just Bangalore's day that because essentially Mumbai have enjoyed a lot of luck in this power play, but Bangalore will be chuffed and it goes to the person that we were talking about, Mandana. Yeah, go on, Nick.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah. So I felt that maybe there could have been more help from Sophie, from Elise, because they have a lot of captains. I mean, there are like four proper captains in that 11. So you actually thought that they'd probably come together, gel together much better than what they have. but it wasn't the case. And see, from the outside, we can only presume that what's going wrong. But I felt there had to be more leadership, group kind of involvement from all of them combined, because you've almost felt, that Smithy has been standing all alone, aloof, and just sad in terms of,
Hmm.
okay, this has happened, okay, that has gone through. So you don't see. Now again, see, it's we are only going to build thesis sitting so far from the game, but I felt that this experience will teach her a lot, and I don't think they should go away from her. I felt they've done better as compared to other sides in terms of using their Indian resources. So others have used overseas more. They have not even looked at the other overseas options, and they've used Indian options more. So in
Yeah.
that sense, that's the one minor positive that they have for them to look forward to, and hopefully they sum up and do better next year, because they need a leadership group, that is for sure.
Yeah, I mean, going through the motions with Mandana, indeed, on the field at times, we've seen that it's been evident on her face. Greg, going on to say Mandana probably feeling the pressure of the 3.4 crore price tag. It just begs a deeper question, right, Gurkirat and Akshay, how they went about their option strategy, how they went about building their team, certain calls as well. As much as I love Sania Mirza and what she brings to Indian sport in general, that's also kind of something that we questioned earlier on if you want to get someone more cricket related. I mean, there are a bunch of things we can look back in hindsight and really hold them hostage. What is one of the biggest disappoints you as a fan and Gurkirat as a cricket expert that you would like them to do better and want them to improve going forward? Gurkirat?
See, I know many would probably feel that removing Smriti as a captain will be the right move, but I don't agree with it. I think 8 games are too short a sample space, and in these 8 games, what people also have to realize that she didn't get a lot of runs, and the results also didn't go her way. And it can happen that you can look down as a player when results are not going your way. So to say that probably she was overawed, or she just looked too overpowered by the occasion, may not be the correct thing to say, because there are a lot of players who are just confidence driven players. Even if we look at the men's team, the Bangalore men's team, so many times they've had a good squad and they've not been able to do well just because they've not started off well. If we look at the last 3 men's T20 league tournaments, Bangalore have started well, and then they've, despite the stutter towards the end, they've still been able to make the playoffs. So sometimes players can be like that, wherein they are just too confidence driven, and a good start really enables them to get the best out of them. So I think they should probably be uh, probably be more open to the fact that yeah, things can go wrong in this tournament, and it's a very fickle format, and things can really not work out if they don't want to work out. So just be a little patient. And coming to the Sania Mirza point, I don't think it had anything to do with results. We have had professionals who have not played any sport at all, but they know about sports psychology and they've helped players. Someone like Paddy Upton comes to mind. And then even when we have had ex cricketers who are there as mentors, they really don't take part in any tactics or strategy. And there have been examples where sometimes the influence has even been negative. So I really wouldn't say that appointing Sania Mirza as a mentor had a role to play with this, because Gujarat have had quite a good support staff, but they've also not had the results. So
Yeah.
it's not necessary, because at the end of the day, and in this format you can have an imperfect 11, but you could still get the result if 2 or 3 players can just carry the team. So be a little more patient. Try and see. It's the first, Smriti is too good a player to not bounce back from this. Try and plug the holes in your balance and the structure. If you can do that, well and good. I read somewhere that they've spent 50% of their budget on players like Smriti, Richa Ghosh, and Alyssa Perry. Now, an opinion might be that you need to get rid one of them, but who would you get rid of? Because Smriti is a proven player, so is Alyssa Perry, and Richard Ghosh is the kind of talent you want to invest into it. So I just think they need to be a little patient and try and understand that in this format, despite doing most of the things correct, things can go wrong. And I don't think they have done most things correct. So try and see what they can do better in terms of strategy, and then stick to it. Just have a little more patience, because I think it will pay off if you do the right things. You have to believe in the process.
My essential worry I mean, and I'm basing this on the proof of the men's team. Actually, correct me if I'm wrong. Is that they don't kind of give that longer rope that say a team like Chennai does to their players, and they kind of are more knee jerk. I hope that doesn't have a seasonal effect going forward.
I mean, this is, true of RCB of your, like, you see 2012, 2013,
This is not
2014.
to under Hessen.
Exactly. Hessen has actually done a fantastic job of changing this team culture, of ensuring that the focus is on the process
Hmm.
and not results.
Hmm.
And you can actually see that in how they've actually created their teams and formed their 11s. If you see, say, I mean, sorry for digressing, but even if you look at the men's team, you
Yeah,
see that their best 11 from last year and their best 11 this year, it's exactly the same.
yeah,
They've not tinkered a lot. Of course, that doesn't mean that they had the perfect 11, but they know that showing trust in their players means a lot more and helps a lot more in getting results than simply chopping and changing.
yeah.
And I expect the same to be extended to their women's team as well. Mike Hessen isn't someone, and he talks about this at length even in their podcast. He isn't someone who believes in chopping and changing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that I don't think that'll happen now.
No, I get the whole Hessen effect, and now that he's director of cricket, obviously there'll be more stability at the top. You expect that, but I don't know. Let's see how this RCB story unfolds. Just to finish up this chat, guys, what have you liked about them? Because Shriyanka Patil is the initial words which come out of everyone's mouth when we talk about Bangalore's women's team right now. Apart from her, are there bright spots? Maybe someone like Kanika Ahuja, who we've seen.
Yeah.
Any others come to mind?
Asha Shobna.
Asha Shobna is
Yeah.
another one.
So, I mean, I would actually have to say that, they did not get a lot of things wrong in terms of the squad structure.
Yeah,
They really did a fantastic job, and people weren't wrong in rating the team high.
yeah,
It's just one of those seasons where it was the perfect storm. Everything that could go wrong actually went wrong.
yeah.
Smith, they built their team around a strong, solid Indian core of Richa Ghosh, Smriti Mandana,
Gets
and
up,
Renuka.
gone. Megan should strikes in a second over. It's a soft dismissal. Sorry to cut him off, but Smithy gets another catch, so that'll do her well. Two down for 62 now, Mumbai. But obviously, like Gokil mentioned, inevitably they're going to get across the line without a sweat. Hopefully, Ronald can make a match of it, but I really think that's wishful thinking. Just going back to the positives, then he mentioned Asha Shobna, Shriyanka Patil. Who the others who are potential Indian call-ups in this Bangalore team? Asha Shobna is one of them. Shriyanka Patil is one of them.
We can add also to the list.
Yeah.
We don't really have a lot of middle order left-handers, and she's someone who actually has the intent.
Okay.
That's something missing in the current Indian team. If you look at the middle order,
True.
so she's someone potentially who could get a call up. Of course, not right now, but yeah,
Yeah.
for sure she's.
Next, what about the others? Maybe Disha Kasat, Preeti Bose. Anyone else who excites you?
Yeah, I don't think they've used them well. Priti was played in a few games, only bowled a couple of overs and was not used much. So, in whoever was used well, they've done better. So,
Yeah.
there is also enough hint for you to see that they probably should have backed the local talent far more than what they did. Uh, Again, it's the lure of the overseas players that you feel that only they can do the job. Something that even Gujarat have been guilty of, that only bank on Sutherland to do well, not try Mansi Joshi, do not try Monica Patel enough. They kept going back to the overseas guys. So, I mean, there is, I think, a lot of time for Priti Bose. I'm sure she'll come good, get more chances going ahead. And yeah, the two names that he took were pretty much I thought Shenika Patel could directly get in because of the value that she adds. I mean, end overs bowlers are very rare, and her and Dipti could really form a good pair if they both play for India. So, in terms of positives, I think it was Renuka and Megan Schutt's form. I felt that was one of the biggest reasons for them not doing well. They banged on these two to set the tone for them, and they couldn't adapt to the conditions, which I felt was slightly surprising for both because Megan has played a lot of cricket everywhere, and Renuka is your spearhead. So you expect them to do better, but again, it again comes down to the usage of Renuka as well. We discussed sometimes she bowled one over in the power play and then came in the last six. That's not going to work out for her because that's not her strength. So I think sometimes they forgot. I wouldn't say they forgot the role, but they probably were too much in that moment and did not quite look through that. Okay, if we're doing this now, what would this lead to?
Hmm.
Is
Yeah.
it fair to say that when they lost a few probably a couple of games early on in the tournament, that they became too desperate and went away from their plan A's too early, and probably resorted to plans which were
But then it
tactically
comes
wrong.
down to again how many games do you have, right? You mentioned that Chris Gale example of Punjab. At times, teams already kind of under the pump after the first two games. Once you have no points on the table, then you're thinking, okay, maybe one change, two change, which becomes a third and the fourth, and that's exactly what happened with Bangalore in the whole tournament. The only two players who haven't played for them is Indrani Roy and surprise, surprise, Dane Van Niekerk. I mean, it's just shocking, but I guess that's the philosophy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Subodh goes on to say, throw that Mike Hesson out of the Bangalore setup. That man's strategy never is impressive. Beat with his men's team.
Subodh
Mike
wants
Hesson.
everyone to be sacked and resign. Hmm.
I mean, obviously, none of us will call for anyone to lose their jobs because it's not the best possible thing. But I completely get his fan sentiment in terms of, okay, time to bin him. Keep your comments coming through right now. 63 for 2. Natsiva Brunt and Harmanpreet, the usual candidates out there chasing this, like I said, modest
Oh,
struck in the pads. I think a
I
slight.
think she got an inside edge probably.
Yeah. So, I mean, right now, do you guys fancy Delhi to like take top spot? It's inevitable, right? Because I think they have to chase this down in the next 4 overs to overtake them.
It seems unlikely that this result alone would push them to the
Exactly.
top of the table. Yeah.
Is that fair for Delhi to finish on top?
I mean, the way they've been playing in the last few games, they definitely deserve the spot. Of
Yeah.
course, every team has their own flaws, but Delhi's really done a good job of ensuring both the departments have performed cohesively.
Yeah. I mean, Delhi versus UP is the night game, and that's going to be an interesting watch. It could be the final before the final, you know what I mean? Because, in the sense, Nix was excited about UP, and he has all the right in the world to think like that because look at what they're doing, not just from a bowling perspective, but their batting perspective. We'll come on UP in terms of the night occasion, but right now I'm just trying to figure out Mumbai and how to kind of be at least happy with his performance. Two defeats never really works well going into the next knockout part of the tournament, right? So at least they've got that sorted.
Yeah, but then I feel this could be the classic case of peaking too early. Mumbai really
We brought it up, Nix. We brought it up in this conversation last time around.
so and yeah, and you can almost see why.
But is there, I mean, people say that, and I got Nick's and Bishan's opinion yesterday and Moritz as well. I'll get Gurkirat in your opinion right now. What do you guys feel about people and teams saying, oh, we peaked too early? Or because the players don't look it like that. And is it fine for us to say those things?
See, when it comes to momentum,
Yeah.
this is something that's it's intangible. You can't really see how are they doing. It's one of those things when you're winning, when you're losing. It just it tends to go on.
Correct.
So once you get into that rhythm, it's just hard to get out of it. Just like how RCB began with a couple of losses and then it just seemed like they couldn't win.
Correct.
So it's always, I mean, yeah, it sounds it sounds sort of something that's made up,
Yeah.
but then it is true. So momentum is
Yeah, it stems out of that word momentum, and we spoke about it with Nick yesterday as well. I think Mumbai, to be fair, even if they lost this game, they won't be really flinching in the final, right? Because they've done all the heavy lifting in the initial part of the tournament, so they can still draw conviction from that.
They could, but then I would also be wary of the fact that despite pitches slowing down, over the tournament, the spinners have actually not been able to take enough wickets
Yeah.
as they did in the first half. Saika Ishak, Haley Matthews, Amelia Kerr, of course, she's ensured that she does most of the work.
Yeah.
So, but then yeah, they'll be wary of the fact that the other two spinners haven't done much. So that's something they would want to look at and fix it, hopefully.
Hopefully. Subhash and Varta already jumping the gun for tomorrow's Watchalong, which is India, Australia, and that comes from Chennai. So that'll be a good one. I don't know, Subhash, honestly. My best bet is maybe they push Marsh down to 3 Knicks. What do you think they'll do? Head and Warner, right? That's their usual pair.
yeah, but I don't know if we don't have any update on how likely is it to be fit. If it's not, I don't
Correct.
think they'll risk. I don't think Warner will risk because he has to roar Macha later in in a week's time. And again, to go back to the momentum bit,
Oh, nice.
that's a good wicket. Okay.
Oh, out. And she does a Hasaranga celebration or a Neymar celebration, I should say. Good from Asha
Yeah.
Shobna, honestly. Brilliant stuff. Gurkha, welcome back. We were just asking, I mean, he was finishing about the whole topic of peaking to right, momentum, and all of those cliches that we so often use in tournament cricket. How much does momentum play a part in a tournament like this? And Mumbai, even if they say don't get the result today, they would still be fairly confident to topple whoever they meet next.
Yeah, Mumbai should be confident about that. No questions about it. As far as momentum is concerned, I have a very split view on this. I think there is probably in-game momentum, but even that can be broken because you have the timeouts and there's a break after every 6 balls. Cricket is not like football or hockey where the game is really flowing, and as a captain you can't slow down the game. So I feel there is momentum, but sometimes I think we can overstate it. uh, Between games, like between two matches, I'm not so sure, because you and funnily enough, those who say that there is momentum also say that every day is a new day in cricket. So both can't be true. Either one of that is true. I'd rather believe that every day is a new day, rather than believing that momentum carries on from previous games, because there's an obvious break in game. Momentum, I can agree, but I would not say that it is to the same extent as as what it is in probably a football or a hockey, because if you are a smart captain, you can slow down the game. You can take a timeout which is available. But yeah, between games in the tournament, I'm not so sure.
Okay. Guys, I just want to pick your brains about Sekai Shark and just how she was brilliant and now she's gone wicketless for three. Is that something we're nitpicking for no reason, or do you think there's more into it? Nick, I'll start with you here.
Yeah, I'll get to Saika. With the momentum bit, I think I just had one thing to add there. So I definitely feel there is momentum because if not, you won't see teams collapsing in a session.
Yeah.
So it's there,
It's
and it
there.
is not. It's not easy to stop the flow of the game. Smith said it after the Delhi test that we rushed into the batting. We did not slow Ravi Jadeja down. And with regards to in between games, I think there was a very good discussion that happened with Sky. Of course, great discussions happen there only because you're not promoting films or everything there. So they had a very interesting take that the in game or the between games momentum is more crucial for people who haven't done well. So let's say, for example, if a death overs bowler has got his Yorkers wrong on that particular day, then he will, no matter how much you tell him it's a new day, new planet, whatever, he will be thinking about it the next day if it's playing back to back. And if the first one goes wrong, he will still have that in his mind.
Yeah.
So you can put it down to muscle memory or whatever you want to call it, but it plays a part. But you can't always just blame it entirely on that part that, okay, it's a new day, let me continue to back the same line, but it is not working. You saw that in the last game. So it's there, but as Gurukira said, it's hard to objectively quantify that, okay, it is this much and it is this much not there. Like, I
Yeah.
think Kagi Sarabada's example is best when he bowled the super over to Russell, where he said that it was the first ball. The first ball of that goal, the Yorker, and it landed, and it gave me the momentum or the feel that I should not try the short one. This is
Yeah.
working for me, but it wasn't working for him in the game. So even in between the game, there was a break, but still he found that momentum for him when he was trying to bowl. So,
Oh,
uh,
bold.
oh,
Harmanpreet's gone now. They give you a little twist in the tail and
momentum is changing.
sorry?
Momentum is changing, right?
The momentum shift. But yeah, I mean, honestly, a lucky breakthrough, chopping it on, and a nothing ball, really. She could have, I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
inside edge, onto a shoe,
Yeah,
not
so I agree on momentum having a part to play in a match wherein there are phases like how Nikhil mentioned about collapses. Uh, a very I wouldn't really say recent, but it's not a very old one. You have to go back to that Cape Town Test match last year in India South Africa. India were bowling well till the time they got that LBW call of Dean Elgar reversed on DRS. From there on, India were just completely, they completely lost the plot. They were bowling all over the park. In fact, in the next half an hour, I think 7 overs or 8 overs, India conceded some 45 runs because they were just so consumed by that reversal of that DRS that they couldn't really focus. So yes, there is, I think, momentum in the game, but I think, like I said, I don't think it can be overstated, because the counter argument to that is that these 11 players that are playing, they are professionals. They should be not getting consumed by that one moment and looking to build down the pressure once again. And it is not something that they haven't done in the past. They've done it in the past. They've done it when nothing has been happening. Like another example of that is the Oval Test match in 2021, or even the Lord's Test match before that. So there is, but I don't think anything and everything can be just pinned onto that. And between games is just too hard to quantify. Sometimes it could also be, confidence, or sometimes it could just be luck. And this is something which Hardik had acknowledged during the last Indian T20 league, where he said that Gujarat were also being very lucky. So
Mm.
very, very fine line to draw between what is confidence, what is luck, and what is momentum. Probably momentum is a mathematical equation where there is, some variable of confidence and some variable of luck involved to different degrees, depending upon how good or how bad is your momentum.
Hmm. Yeah, well explained that. And it makes you think a little bit more about Mumbai right now in terms of how they're going to go into the knockout phases. The 73 for 4 chasing 126. Or is this almost a perfect blessing in disguise for them? The fact that they still, I mean, Vasaka has come out to bat right now. They have Care, Kumera, and the rest who haven't really got a chance to bat. It's almost a dress rehearsal.
Sort of, yeah. And Harman actually pointed this out even in yesterday's post-match presentation, wherein
Yeah,
they'd rather have these games come in during the league stage,
yeah.
where the middle order can also get an opportunity to sort of play themselves into the game. But yeah, it's still something to think about that how the top order has also sort of really failed in the last few games, and they failed consistently. Like in the first few games, you saw everyone in the top order getting good starts, converting the starts into big scores,
Yeah.
and now, yeah, it is what it is. I guess like it's hard to point out. Like both of them mentioned, it's really hard to point out one specific moment or anything like that that sort of changed things. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean, law of averages could be one of the factors, but 78 for 4. Amelia Care's got a 4. She got 3, remember, in terms of wickets are there. So she could be a contention in terms of player of the match. So, Chad, going on to say, I think it doesn't make sense. So, you go on this, we'll take Sharda's comment, we'll take Chance first. I think it doesn't make sense to analyze Bangalore's women's team after the first tournament. They started slowly, and some of the auction strategy wasn't good. Hopefully, they can start better next season. That's exactly what we spoke about 20 minutes ago, Shashank, but appreciate comment. Sharda, what do you have to say in the comments? I feel Smith playing too defensive against spin and has made her mind up to play everything off the back foot. I mean, that's a good one to think about because obviously throughout the tournament, spin has got her undone. Does that kind of creep into players' heads when they're struggling against a bowling type or a player, for example? How do the pros do it?
I mean, it does not necessarily happen with everyone, but yeah, in Smriti's case, definitely, that is the case. You can see how tentative she becomes. And like Sharda, correctly mentioned, it is the case where she tends to go onto the back foot every now and then, whenever, especially an
Is
off
that
spinner
pure
comes in.
subconscious?
It has to do with the fact that somewhere on the back of her head she knows that this particular type has gotten me out regularly in the past few games. So yeah, it has to do I mean, it also has to do a bit with muscle memory, like Nick's mentioned.
Yeah.
It's a bunch of different things, and you just get clouded. You can't really think clearly as to how to play the ball. And it's easy for us to sit here and talk about this, but
Armchair
then
critics that
yeah,
we are.
yeah. So decision making happens in a split second. When the ball is delivered, she doesn't have the time to really think.
Yeah.
So whatever is it's a fight or flight syndrome, wherein she feels she's comfortable going onto the back foot, and that's been her undoing.
Yeah, and at times, like because you made certain mistakes to spinners in the past, you might have been walking down and then got stumped. There's certain things playing in your mind, so maybe that's entering ahead. Nix, I just want to ask you a little bit more about this. Obviously, you haven't played the game, and none of us have to that degree. But what do you think the players are telling themselves if they get out to a certain type of bowling or which is the same problem which is plaguing them? How do they get out of it? We've seen it with Virat as well in the previous IPL. What do they do? Do they just kind of tell them, okay, fine, this is my bad period and go ahead with it? Or they actually consciously try to figure a way out?
No, I'm sure they definitely tried to figure a way out. We can take the example of Kevin Peterson when he was getting out to left arm spin for fun, and he
Dravid.
discussed at length that the arm ball is troubling me a lot. I'm always playing besides the line. What do I do? And he uh, reportedly approached Rahul Dravid to help him get better into better positions and make better decisions before the ball is bowled.
Hmm.
So as he said, once the ball is bowled, you're not going to have enough chances if you haven't completely thought it through that, okay, this is how I want to go about it and this is how I'll do it. So similar thing has happened with Jason Roy for a while, that he's gotten out to a particular type of ball, particular type of bowling, and then you kind of figure that, okay, something like with left arm pace people do is they start getting more side on. That, okay, let me just watch the ball more closely, play them out more if I want to, and then look to take them on when I have enough score on my back. So it can have many options. You could go technical. You could also always go away that, okay, what is my best counter? If I can't hit them, how do I just get off strike? Even that does for me. So it's that then that you decide that, and it's not a Smriti is not played spin well. There was a time a couple of seasons back where she was getting out to the short ball on her body, where everybody was targeting her bat angle, and she was getting caught at deep square leg. So she found a way out for that. So I'm sure she'll find a way out for this one as well. And it's also about rhythm, right? When you are, as Gurkirat said, she's a confidence player. Something to take with Kuldeep Yadav. He's a confidence guy. He gets a couple of wickets. You are completely different bowler because then you are making better decisions in your head because you have got that early breakthrough. So I think you can even take the example of Rahane, that he is someone who starts with very risky shots very early. But once he's got a start, he settles down, doesn't take those risks anymore. So everybody looks at it very differently. Some go technical way, some go, let me take a few risks early, settle down, put the pressure on them, and then I'm happy to take a backseat. So definitely they look to find a counter, and different answers lie for different people in that sense.
Absolutely. Now we'll just take Subodh's question in a bit, but Gukia, just on this point, is there anyone that Spriti can look in the Bangalore dressing room or the Indian dressing room in terms of getting spin advice, like pretty much what Peterson did with Dravid? Who is Spriti's Dravid in this case, if she needs one?
I mean, she can speak to Harman, even though Harman's a right-hander. But I'm sure that there's enough knowledge transfer that can happen over there. Uh, she can speak to the ones who are there in the Bangalore setup. I mean, and it's not necessarily that you have to speak to someone from the team. Like Gautam Gambhir also had worked on his technique, and I think for one season where he probably didn't even play the Ranji Trophy, or it was the off season, he went to Australia, worked with Justin Langer, and corrected his issue of trying to guide almost every delivery on fifth stump to the third man. Ishan Sharma worked with went to play county cricket and then worked with Jason Gillespie. So it's not necessarily that you have to look in within the Indian setup. Talk to other left-handers who are there and who are willing to share that knowledge, and then maybe try and work on it. But I think more importantly, it comes down to her recognizing that what is it troubling her. Is it the trajectory, or is it probably the line? Because then you can work on it. If it is the trajectory, then you probably have to judge the ball a little early. But if it's the line, then probably getting into better positions can help. In
Hmm.
Peterson's case, it was probably not judging the line well, and then Dravid asked him to remove the pads and just practice without the pads so that the bat comes in front of the pad and the RBWs uh,
Yeah.
averted. So probably it's very difficult from the outside, like Nikhil said early on when we were having a discussion on an issue of confidence, to really say that what is it that is troubling Smriti against Austin. Because I remember uh, when she's been batting well, she's also been able to come down the track and hit those off spinners inside out over covers. So if you can do that, I don't think it's a question of just not having enough skill. It's probably getting stuck with one issue, and if you can get past that, then I think she has enough shots to even dominate off spin.
Yeah, I mean, let's see how she really tackles spin going ahead. We were smiling at the TV because a couple of things. Pooja Vasika played some beautiful shots, but also Izzy Wong, aka Adam Zampa, is what they're calling her. Shocking with the boys in the office and how they think of these things at times. We're just doing a little keepy uppies with the bat. Keep your comments coming through. We've got to probably be here for another 20 minutes or so in terms of 32 runs required for Mumbai right now. They're milking it, and it's important that Pooja Vaslika gets some runs. I know she got a handy 20 the last time around. She was, of course, missing 3 games this season. How crucial is she as a player? Because when we talk about Mumbai, she kind of gets lost in the stars.
Definitely, she is, very she's very central to their plans.
Yeah.
And why not? She's India's, one of India's premier all rounders. We don't really see a lot of her type pace bowling all rounders who can also bat fairly well. So yeah, she is very important to them, and they must be, relieved seeing her playing back to playing again. Yeah.
Yeah, the fact that she can get some runs also just bodes well for her because she's a super important player for her before the
I
tournament
think
started. Where's
I
Preeti
think
Bose? I think she's on the bench, I'm guessing, Jaydeep. I have no idea. I think she's on
I
the
think
bench.
with Pooja, more than the runs and her batting, it's just the raw power that she has.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not something that you find very often. Probably in some other in some other team, not named Mumbai, where players where they had a little more holes to fill and probably needed someone to tonk the ball. Uh, she would have played a bigger role. I mean, she would have been a perfect fit for a team like Delhi, who
Yeah.
don't have batting beyond six, right? Nikhil's laughing
Sure.
because Nikhil can relate to my
Okay,
Nikhil can
sure.
relate to my pain of.
One second, Gurkiat, I want to ask you something, right? So, yesterday, Delhi beat Mumbai, smashed them. And oh, Preeti Bose, oh, sorry, she's not on the bench. She's bowling. My bad, Jaydeep. My bad. Apologies. I thought she wasn't playing because what 12 overs and she hasn't even been introduced in the attack. So Gurkiat, my question to you is, and we'll definitely take Subodh's question 100%. Um, with the Delhi women winning, will you be happy to make up for what the men's are going to offer and their shambles later on this year?
No, that's not
Why
happening.
Delhi still winning a tournament? You take that.
No, see, but I'd be happy, but I don't think it's going to make up for the blunders.
It
That's
will
something.
take years to forget Sunny Gupta. Years.
Let's not get into that.
No, no, I'm
Sunny
just asking you this because look, the Delhi women honestly might be champs. And from a Delhi perspective, like if Bangalore were where Delhi
No,
are right
so
now,
I'll
like,
be see, I'll be happy. I'll be happy. Okay, but if I ask you this, if Bangalore women had won it,
He will take it.
would you?
He will take it.
No, no,
100%.
no, 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 no.
See,
My
when
my
you don't
question
get
is not
anything,
complete. My
okay.
question is not complete. Bangalore
Huh.
women win it, but Bangalore men come last.
Oh, like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I would still be fine with that.
Yeah, I
As
take it. It's fine.
When
At
you don't
least
get
like these
anything,
something to
yeah,
boast about in the trophy
yeah,
cabinet, bro.
yeah,
Otherwise, धूल पड़ी है भाई. धूल है in the trophy cabinet. We don't even have a cabinet.
yeah.
That's the
There's no
problem.
So
Diwali Safai. It's the same thing. When they get a trophy, it's when they'll clean.
All runners up medals. All runners up medals. I mean, that's the
no,
problem.
but like I've been mentioning since the start, because I've not been someone who's followed women's cricket as much as men's cricket, my my involvement will obviously increase with time, but my attachment to the men's franchise is a lot more. It's been 15 years, so yeah. I mean, I'd be happy, but I don't think it makes up for the repeated blunders is one thing, repeated blunders is completely another.
Okay, let
So
me ask you a choice because you put me on a spot, right? Delhi men's team to win the IPL, but the women's team to suddenly get banned and never participate in the WPL. Would you
no,
take
no,
that?
band, no, that's I
Ah,
don't think that's
I
worth the cost.
was thinking, how
because
greedy can the
because
man be?
because when you get banned, then uh, uh, you've probably done something which is not within the spirit of the game,
Yeah, like
and probably
Chennai.
not in line. Yeah. See, Chennai have won three titles: 2011, 2010, 2011, and 2019. No, four,
Hopefully.
2021. How can I forget 2021? So four titles, but still those who don't like Chennai franchise, they still keep talking about those 2 years and say that they should have never been allowed. So no, banning is something that I don't think anything can compensate for it. No.
No, but I honestly think that's the only blemish Chennai has because even fans, as silly as they are at times, that's the only weak point that they can target Chennai fans with. Obviously, Bangalore is the jokes club for sure, and everyone like even Punjab fans and Delhi fans can like take pot shots at us. Where I feel like, oh my god, at least okay, fan a Mumbai fan or a Chennai fan, KKR fan, RR fan, SS, they've all won. But when these guys who haven't even won then they crack jokes. I'm just like, wow. So when Shuk tells
No,
me,
but
no,
where are Punjab fans?
Anirudh,
Yeah.
Suresh,
Okay. This is a
Anirudh
revolution.
Suresh is one. I have another friend called Tanya. She's a mad fan. She gives me shit all the time. And I'm just like, what have you guys won? And she just looks at one thing, Punjab RCB head-to-head record, and she'll be like, that's all I care about. And I'm like, even in that, we're losing, dude. Even in that, it's shocking. Honestly, shocking. Do we have a better head-to-head than anyone?
Yeah, I mean against Delhi.
Against Delhi, we have a better head-to-head.
There's only one team that has a better head-to-head versus Mumbai. Like every team has lost more than 50% matches against Mumbai
And that's
except for
Delhi.
Delhi.
No, is that Delhi?
Yeah,
That
Delhi's a
that
bogey team.
Oh wow.
Delhi's Mumbai's
I
bogey
mean,
team.
uh, till the before the 2020 IPL, it was 12 each. Then in the 2020 IPL, it became 16-12. Then Delhi won both. It became 16-14. Then I think it was 1-1. So it's 17-15. But Delhi have beaten Mumbai the most in the when it comes
That's
to head
like
to head.
alpha male versus alpha male in terms of actually super exciting in terms of oh
I
thanks
think
Sean.
that's happened for the very first time. Great.
Yeah, super excited now that the IPL is gonna sink in slowly and surely because we've never done watch-alongs. It'll be a fun space, so do subscribe if you're watching. And we're about 15, literally 15 subscribers away from 19,000 on YouTube. So if you guys are watching this, please do tell some other friends and family to subscribe. 107 for 4, and Mumbai really just cantering home right now. In 10 days' time, Nix, would you be worried about Hardik Pandya and that Gujarat lot against Chennai? Can we get some early predictions? Because this match, let's face it, to dead rubber. I'm hoping Chennai win if it's not Bangalore in terms of the IPL for sure. And I know it's cynical for me to say that because Bangalore Chennai have their own rivalry, but I don't know. I just want Dhoni to win it if it was not Bangalore. Next, you?
Yeah, I think I don't actually have too much interest that who is doing better on per game day basis. I just want Hardik to get better at hitting back of length. I just
Yeah.
want to see one finish from MS where he needs like 16, 17. And even if it's Tom Karan, Kagis or Abad, I don't care. I want one such finish. And you want one choke from one team.
Yeah.
Let's not take any names because it's fun to watch any team choke. Uh, you want a hat trick. And I do feel this IPL will see a couple of players hit a couple of tons.
Okay.
So, because some of the venues are very good to bat, and this time it will be spread across. So, at least in the start of the tournament, maybe we could see that happening. And yeah, hopefully, people who play for the Orange Cap also get to win a title. So, that could also be happening.
Okay,
I
but
like
now that Nikhil mentioned choke, I want to ask all four of you, which choke do you think across 15 seasons is the biggest choke? I know the one that I am going to go for.
the biggest IPL choke for me has to be 2016 final. Has to be 2016 final. For sure. Without a doubt. Sean
Akshay?
has come. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, 2016, yeah, personally, for sure, it brings back a lot of bad memories. But, I would actually have to go with the Punjab KKR game 2020.
Hmm.
They needed 19 of 18. They were 120 odd for no loss, chasing like 150. And they somehow managed to bottle that up, man. Like Kumble sent in Prabhsambran Singh. He couldn't get going. He just,
Yeah, match wise for sure.
Yeah.
But in the grandest scheme of
Acha.
things, which still
Season.
hurts, a choke is the 2016 season. Who's bottled it otherwise in terms of main chokes? Oh, one second, it could be a wicket here. No, it's 4 or 2.
I mean, season-wise, I mean, if you're talking about finals, yeah, RCB is right up there. Probably RCB even takes the second spot with the 2009 season. The way they lost the finals there, chasing like what 138 and
Yeah.
that's
KKR boys, anyone else? Rajasthan,
Punjab 2014 maybe.
Punjab 2014.
No, but I don't think that was a choke. For me, the biggest choke in a game is from 2019, Delhi Punjab.
Same current.
Current.
Delhi needing to score 23 runs in 22 balls with 7 wickets in hand, and losing from there with Sam Curran taking a hat trick.
He was my captain that day.
Pant getting bowled while playing a slog to a slot delivery. and
Yeah.
then
Oh, I remember this
Morris,
game now. I remember this game now. That was a crazy game.
Morris getting run out first ball. That too to an Ashwin direct hit,
Ashwin.
which is one of the rarest of the rare events.
Do
And
you remember that other game, Kolkata Rajasthan, when Tambi got the hat trick, Udappa and I
Yes.
think Gambhir were just 122 for none, and they were chasing like some 140 and they collapsed.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember
Yeah,
that.
that was
So, but
I
like on a game basis, I don't think anything beats that
wait set. Yeah.
22 balls, 7 wickets in hand. I mean, you just have to look at how those wickets fell to realize what
Yeah.
was happening. There was
was that like
Colin
a
Ingram
crucial
was
game or was
batting.
it just random league game?
So it was a league game. It was a
League
league
game. Yeah.
game. It was Delhi's fourth game
Yeah.
of the season. So Colin Ingram was fed a slot ball. He hit that quite well, but it was caught by Karun Nair at the boundary. There was Hanuma Vihari out, getting bowled to a slog. There was Harshal Patel.
And this was at
Everyone
where
was just
Kolkata,
no. This is at Mohali.
Mohali.
It was an away
Yeah.
game
That's
You
for
the
them.
can
other
you
teams,
can
right?
remember Mott's flying and Sam
Yeah,
Curran coming in
yeah,
and bowling
yeah.
and taking wickets.
But how excited are you guys about the whole home and away scene? Because I think this will be the first time ever in IPL history 10 over away, or has it happened 2011?
2011.
In 2011. But this
2011, I
time
believe.
around, some of the venues just fascinate me always. I mean, Jaipur, Chennai, to
See, if you live in
Bangalore
Delhi,
Central.
if you live in Delhi, you don't. It
You're not
doesn't make a
excited
difference.
about it.
If it's a home or away venue, it doesn't make a difference.
Why with
Right?
that pitch and stuff, like your crux will be Akshar Patel, Lalit Yadav, Ripple Patel, all these absolute garbage
Ripal
bowlers.
Patel
Oh, yeah,
doesn't bowl spin.
I love
Ripal
it.
Patel
But yeah.
doesn't bowl spin.
Yeah, he's
Ripal Patel
Who's
doesn't bowl spin.
Ripple
I
Patel.
know Ripple Patel doesn't bowl spin, I know that, but he's more of a Rajat Bhatia, holds up in the surface.
Rajat Bhatia is an IPL legend. Let's respect him, please.
Yeah.
Shot.
Oh,
Oh.
nearly taking Karika out. And she'll scamper through. She'll scamper
But
through.
yeah,
So
on a season basis, like I think yeah, I'd say 2021 season for Delhi was also a choke in larger scheme of things.
why? Why?
Given the team that they had and in what position they were. I'm not talking about them losing um, the qualifier 2 or the qualifier 1. I just think that the kind of team that they had, they just lost the plot tactically so much that they could never recover. You
One
you
second.
look back
How
at,
long have you been supporting Delhi for? Since 2008.
yeah. I
Oh,
don't
since
call 2000. I tell you why I don't call a 2009 game a choke, because when someone like Adam Gilchrist plays the kind of innings that he did in that semi-final,
oh,
where
one
he
second, Gurkirat, hold on, because this has gone miles and Smriti. At least she's getting her catches on the day, third one, and another wicket, maybe the final wicket in Bangalore's campaign, the inaugural campaign. Oh, sorry, go on. 120 for five. I think there's six away.
I don't call the 2009 season a choke, because when someone like Adam Gilchrist plays that kind of innings where he scores 85 in some 30 odd balls, it's not a choke. It's just the opposition playing better on the day. 2012 season as well. I think Delhi's batting really carried them, and
Yeah.
even if they had played Warner Morkel in that game, in that qualifier too, the chances of them beating Chennai in Chennai were always not very,
What was their batting lineup still then? They had Sehwag, right? Still.
they
Jayavardene,
had Sehwag, they had Warner, they had Jayawardene, but they, they
Peterson,
they were not beating Chennai in Chennai.
Dinesh Karthik?
no, he
No.
was with
No,
Mumbai.
Dinesh Karthik in 2012 was not in Delhi.
Oh, they had Mithun Manas and all these characters.
Mithun Manas, I think was there in 2010. He
Yeah,
then
yeah,
went to
yeah.
Pune in 2011.
I mean,
So Mithun
domestic
Manas was in
batters,
Pune.
I can't really think of much.
They had
They had
Kevin Peterson in 2012,
yeah,
but I don't think he played the whole season. He scored a century versus Deccan, but I don't think he played the whole season. But I think 2021 is where they completely lost the plot just in terms of tactics. You look at that Chennai game, the qualifier one. Uh, After having dismissed Faf in the first over, there was no business of Chennai chasing down that target given the pace bowling attack that Delhi had, and given the obvious weakness that Chennai had with short of length bowling. But Delhi bowlers just didn't resort to short bowling. They just kept feeding Uthappa in the slot to Gaikwad in the slot. There was hardly any short balls.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I mean, Chennai were going to win that competition anyway. And I don't know. I mean, this is really scary. Forget anything else. It's like stalkerish. It's like that fan movie that Shah Rukh Khan was part of. Avnish fan goes on to say, "Hey, Avnish, meet your big fan. This is me." This is definitely some setup with the boys. I do not believe it. It could be Basta, Banirud, Akash. You guys have better things to do instead of create fake accounts and spaz me here.
you know what? I think they anyway. Let it go.
One second, Gurkira, the Knicks have a lot of fans too. Have you ever got stalker fans on Twitter, Insta? Spill the beans.
Yeah, I think
I
you'll always find a few who will come up and they want to impersonate. While it is one form of flattery, I don't think it is always advisable
Yeah,
because you would not want to play around and talk anything in name of anyone.
yeah,
Even if it's parody, I feel you have to draw a line.
correct.
Not everything is funny to everyone. So, and I've been on that part. People have made fake accounts and then gone on to post things, send people messages, which doesn't give you. I don't know who finds it funny. It's
Yeah,
not funny. It is embarrassing more. And yeah, hopefully people can have a better sense of humor.
yeah.
this
Better
so
sense of
happened.
humor.
It's
Come on,
this is
Gurkira.
this. I find this really funny because so Nikhil put out a tweet on my birthday wishing me, and I was like, nice. And there was another
I
tweet. It
was like,
came in my
nice.
mentions, and like word. It was from some different account, but I am like word seems similar. And then notifications were coming on Nikhil's tweet, and I was like, someone has actually copied Nikhil's tweet for my birthday as a birthday wish and posted it as
No ways. One second, I don't know what is happening right now because Mandana is just getting catches after catches. It's a fourth catch, and Mumbai they have 6 to win. I think she was going for the hero shot. Izzy Wong, aka Adam Zampa. She goes 120 for six now.
And
And I guess this is just for the fantasy cricketers out there who
yeah,
have
this is the most irritating part of a cricket game if you are a
yeah.
fantasy leader because random junk wickets when there is nothing to play for and you could lose ranks for fun. I mean, Mandana has given more points with her catches than batting. I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing, but yeah.
Yeah, she's actually. I mean, that's well said. Gurkirat's just nonchalantly picking up the phone saying, "Yeah, दो पेटी भिजवा हाँ ठीक है लास्ट डिक्की पे है हाँ 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 ठीक है." And then he was like looking at himself and all of that. सही है भाई तू IPL preparation हो गया Gurkirat. And he's muted himself as well.
no, I had muted myself because I was taking the call.
Last भिजवा दे.
If Emma loses,
Someday authorities are going to come after me just because of the jokes which Avnish cracks.
If Mumbai loses, then it'll be the greatest joke. No, I honestly, like, right now, looking at this women's T20 league and going into the knockout, the best part about it is that any of those three teams can win. We've seen Mumbai really reign supreme, Delhi wipe the floor with Mumbai, and then UP beat Mumbai. So, I mean, honestly, anyone could win. And have your predictions in the comments below. Right, let's see how long Mumbai will take to finish this goddamn game because it's 6 to win. And Smriti Mandana's bowling. Smriti
oh
Mandana's
my god!
like Kohli as well. She bowls like Kohli as well.
And
This is
But but
I don't
what
know
if
whether I should be happy. I don't know whether I should be happy or not. But those wickets for Kanika Oja got me a handsome amount.
oh, well done. Kanika gets 2 wickets in the first dream
but
season.
Smriti gets a wicket now? Will you lose money or will you?
Maza.
Oh,
No,
wait.
it is. I think it is covered. It's
Oh,
covered.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's covered.
sorted.
But one second, I mean, have you ever seen anyone bowl like her? Could you like her action to someone?
Kohli,
Mushtaq
Chris
Ahmed with 2 hands going like that.
It's
Is that
also
little
somebody I've
mushy
seen
from
very,
Pakistan?
very, very recently. Oh, dude. Of course, it's not Kumble.
South
But
Kumble, it's more
I
high
just feel I've seen. No, I just feel I've seen this very, very particularly, but can't
Oh,
recollect
that
the
should
name,
be
and
it.
that's
It's
the runs.
curtains.
Some similarity with Shreyas Iyer with the ball. I felt.
Thanks for clearing that.
The way he was thinking, I was actually suggesting, like, good name. Shreyas Iyer, he goes on to say, well, look, guys, thank you so much for this short watch along. It's just been 1 hour exact, which is always good. Mumbai winning by 4 wickets and handsomely going into the next part of the competition. Bangalore will have to pack their bags and go home and reflect and come back stronger next year. How often do we say that about Bangalore teams across sport, let alone goddamn cricket? Thanks so much for watching. Nix has been a champ. Kanika's made him win big, so hopefully he can share the goodies in the next watch along. And good Kirat, of course, making some devious calls as ever. Good Kirat, good to see you. We'll see you later where your Delhi team will take on Nix's UP team. That'll be a ridiculous wash as well. And of course, we have to thank Akshay for his time for making his presence felt. I have to go. I'll probably, guys, see you or at 9 there and thereabouts. But until the next time, it's a goodbye from those two and, of course, two of us as well. Thanks for watching. It's a goodbye, and we'll see you guys soon. Cheers. Bye. He's not ending it. Shaunak, he's gone for a coffee break. Oh my god, I need to end it. Oh, here he is. He's ending it now. End it. End the show. Shaunak is still not ending the show.
Bye-bye.
He's still not ending the show. Now he's ending the show. Oh my